Jayden Daniels, Coach Quinn, and a couple other guys. It looked like they were over at Northwest Stadium, formerly known as FedEx Field Cakes.
Yes.
And they were passing out turkeys, it looked like.
Yeah, I think they passed out like 2,500 meals for Prince George's County families. Very nice of them.
They looked like they were in a good mood.
Yeah.
They were getting their pictures taken. Of course, the media was there. And we got to hear a little bit from Jaden, a little bit from Coach Q, etc. Valdez, you have a clip of, I think this is when Scott Abraham is asking Jaden something. So here you go.
I guess the big question everybody wants to know is, how's the elbow, and what's the challenge been of kind of rehabbing and getting back to maybe on the field?
I would say first and foremost, I'm happy to be out here. Jayden Daniels Foundation, partner with the Commanders, to give some good back for the holidays. Make sure people have meals on Thanksgiving. And then to answer your question, the day-by-day process, just kind of getting back in the rhythm of things, the flow of things.
Why is it important for you to get back out there? Because I don't know if you've been paying attention. There's a lot of fans out there, Jaden, that are concerned that maybe you go back out there and get hurt again.
I got to go out there and play football. If I'm back out there, I'm healthy and I'm ready to go. I want to be out there.
Jaden, ultimately, who makes that decision if you go out there and play?
It's a collective. It's my team. It's going to be the medical staff, the team, and it's no really discussions of anything right now. It's more so just getting back healthy and feeling back good. If I'm out there, man, I'm gonna give it my all. So it's gonna be important. I mean, as a football player, you want to go back there and play, and a competitor, and that's who I am. So if I have the opportunity to go back there and play, but right now I'm really just taking it day by day and week by week.
I think he's saying the right things. You want him to be a competitor, and I think you want him back on the field.
100%.
You want to see him get a little rhythm.
He's not just saying it, he believes it.
Hopefully carry over for next season.
Yeah, I mean, he needs to play. His teammates are playing. He wants to play.
Right.
He's a young player, still making his way in the league. Had a phenomenal rookie year. Second year's been a bit of a disaster just in terms of being able to stay healthy. The team's falling apart. He wants to get out there and reestablish himself, get into a rhythm, and be with his boys.
He's cleared and healthy. He should 1,000% be playing. Whenever that day is, it's probably not this weekend against the Broncos, whether it's next week against the Vikings, whenever it is, he should be playing.
He needs to get out there.
I did put it up as our Junkies poll of the day, sponsored by Surfside. Use the code JUNKS at store.statesidevodka.com, and you're going to get 25% off select merchandise. That's tees, hat, hoodies, and more. I wear my Surfside hoodie all the time. Use the code JUNKS at store.statesidevodka.com. It's a simple question. Once he's medically cleared, do you want to see him return to the field?
Now, Valdez has a theory that, Joe Burrow's kind of in a similar situation. He's actually missed more time. He's been in the league longer, but he's had a few more catastrophic type injuries than Jaden.
I just think that with Peters and Quinn, they talk about this brotherhood and culture reset that the organization needs to do and change their frame of mind. I think there needs to be a similar one with the fan base. So there is definitely a subsection of the fan base that wants to bubble wrap Jaden and put him on the shelf for the rest of the year, and because the games are meaningless, there's no real chance of making the playoffs, and it's just why risk Jaden? Why endanger the future of your franchise by playing meaningless games? And it's just.
And you're saying they don't ask that of Burrow?
I'm just saying, Joe Burrow had toe surgery, is coming back to play Thanksgiving. The team not performing well, even though they are 3 games out of the division.
They've got a shot in the division. I just looked at their schedule. They play the Ravens twice in the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, well,
right?
don't the Commanders have a shot at the playoffs?
They do. It's very far less likely.
I'm just saying that they have a shot as well.
In their division, you've got the Eagles, who have 8 wins. All right. In the division where the Bengals are, the Ravens lead the division with 6 wins. I think it's a lot different.
I don't think it's as different as you think, but I think that it's just there needs to be a fan reset.
It'll never happen.
That you just go out there and you play, and whatever happens happens.
It'll never happen.
It's like keeping your child indoors because you're so scared of him or her playing on the playground and breaking their arm.
Yeah,
Or you're you lock your teenager in the basement because you don't want him or her going out there making bad decisions, at a party.
Right.
Like it's the same kind of mentality.
I think it's a minority.
If it happens,
fans.
it happens.
I think it's a minority of fans, but maybe it's 10 or 20%. But there's definitely a subgroup of fans that want to just bubble wrap them and they're scared. And JP's point, we talked about it off air, is very true, that they're burned from the Robert thing. They just have that etched in their brains. They just have to get over it.
It's PTSD.
Yeah, it's a little bit of PTSD. And the other part of it is we just have a lot of loser fans. Losers. Literally losers who like losing and want to pick a top 5 pick
this
all
is
the time.
this is
They
also
love losing.
This is part
They
of
think
the
they're analytics geniuses.
of the brain rewiring. That's what's going on. Like it's not happening, and like Joe Burrow is definitely, I think, more injury prone than Jayden Daniels, and the season is as close to being lost as the Commanders, I feel like. And it's not, the organization isn't thinking about it. Joe's not thinking about it. The fans, I don't think, are in Cincinnati want to bubble wrap Joe Burrow and get ready for next season.
There has been some discussion. There has. Look, Burrow has missed, in 4 of his 6 seasons, he's missed games. And there's 6 games left. They have a 1% chance of making the playoffs at 3-8. Now, he had to answer the same type of questions. He said he didn't consider sitting out games, but there was some discussion. It may not be as loud as it is here. I think EB's right. There's kind of this loser mentality. And I think it might actually be bleeding over from the other franchises because we're all used to all these franchises tanking and rebuilding. Nationals they seem to be in a forever rebuild.
Nobody loves
the Wizards are tanking. So it's like, oh yeah, we can get a better draft pick. Let's do it.
Nobody loves losing more than DC fans. They love losing. They love to jump on it and start thinking about the draft. We just love to be a loser.
I do think that there is a minor vocal fan set that are happy being unhappy. I think there's something to that.
They just love misery.
Sort of. It's just they're used to it.
Now this is early voting, but 92.3% right now say that they want to see Jayden Daniels back on the field.
Right.
So it's a minority. You can vote at Junks Radio. Do you want to see him back on the field once he's medically cleared? He's been medically cleared to practice, non-contact. We kind of expect him to be good to go after this Broncos game. Don't we all kind of expect that?
Seems to be the vibe.
I personally think he could play this week.
I think he could.
The elbows snapped back into place.
If this was a playoff game, would he be playing?
I think he would.
Oh, I think if they were in the hunt for a real playoff spot, he would probably be playing.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's such a long shot, they're probably just going to be extra cautious and try to bring him back
a little
next
extra
week.
cautious, that's fine.
And as far as the big picture, I don't know if he's less injury prone than Joe Burrow. He's had 4 injuries in the last 2 seasons. What I will say is these last 5 games, they will either allay fears or create a lot more fear. If he ends up getting hurt again, people are going to be terrified about next season. We already went through this a couple weeks ago where we kind of went around the room and gave our over-under on expected games for Jaden. There wasn't anybody who said 17.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say 17 for anybody, even if there have been guys that played 17 for the last 3 years in a row.
I'd say 17 for a lot of the starters in the NFL.
I don't think I would.
I'd say 17 for Mahomes, for Stafford, for Josh Allen. I mean, there's a lot of guys I'd say 17 for.
Stafford I'd be dicey with because he's getting up there in years, but generally some of those other names tend to play most of the games.
They tend to play, but you just can't predict. I would have bet Cherry was going to play all 17. It's just, I think it's hard to predict on some of that stuff.
In my opinion, it's good to hear Jaden talk that way. And that's the way that people should think. No.
That's exactly how
he's a competitor.
He wants to play.
He wants to be out there with his boys.
Of course.
And by the way, he needs the reps. I don't really think people, he's not a finished product. He needs the reps. He needs to continue to grow and develop. I think he's a superstar, but he's got to grow and develop and stay out there. You can't just pick and choose your spots. It's crazy. He's got to get out there and play. He's our guy. We're sinking or swimming with him.
He's played in 6 games this year.
Yeah, he's got to play.
And
you
the
want your
draft-
quarterback to play more than that.
And the draft pick thing, they're going to get a high draft pick no matter what. Like, what, are you really that worried about it being the 5th, 7th, or 10th pick?
Yeah.
And there's a good chance that Adam Peters trades that pick down to try to get some draft picks back. So anybody who's desperate for a top 10 pick, they might not be picking in the top 10 anyway, regardless of their record, if Peters wheels and deals and tries to get extra draft capital back.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know where that pick's going to be.
Well, if you have a higher pick, you would get more capital back.
Okay, that's true.
Like you'll get better compensation for a 5th than you would
Right.
a 10th.
True.
But still, it's just wherever you draft, you don't think about what you're going to draft until
Right.
you get your pick.
And I don't
Maybe
think
the last game. Maybe if you're 3-13 or something, the last game it's just like totally meaningless. Okay, you want to sit the guy or play him barely or play all the bums.
sometimes it does matter, because wasn't it like, I think it came down to the Jets like beating the Commanders, or the Jets winning a late game that gave the Commanders the ability to draft Jayden Daniels to have the 2nd overall pick.
Right.
Like
But
sometimes it matters.
Well,
it
also
can
they
have an
want
impact for sure, but
yeah,
I wouldn't.
they want a
I wouldn't even
meaningless
consider
game.
it until the last
I
game.
think they won a meaningless game that made them select Chase Young over Joe Burrow years ago.
Yep. Okay.
It can come down to the last game.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't.
But that shouldn't be your mentality
No.
in the moment. Your mentality in the moment, I think, is get Jaden back on the field. Hopefully, see him catch a rhythm, which gives you some confidence for next season.
Mhm.
And if he's able to get through the last 5 games, it'll allay some fears.
And he's got to also continue to learn and develop to figure out a way to try to avoid the big contacts. Like still use your legs and still be a gutty competitor, but still find a way to avoid the big contacts to the best extent that he can. He can't take 5 or 6 car crashes a game. That's been proven. You know.
Yeah, wouldn't it be nice to see him kind of escape from the pocket and make a throw downfield instead of running with it? See, like, you know what I mean? Like if Dan Quinn's trying to drill protection into his brain, wouldn't it be nice to see him do that?
That's nice, but I also want to see him run.
Here's
I
the
want to see
part
him run, but he might have to do something like Baker Mayfield did the other day, and it's kind of jarring, but he's protecting himself. Baker Mayfield slid about 10 yards early.
Yeah, that's fine. You know what? If that keeps him upright and healthy, I'm totally fine with him sacrificing a few yards, slide, and not take a hit.
Right.
I'm cool with that.
Here's the unfortunate reality, especially about guys who are injury prone. Here's what Joe Burrow said. Yeah, I've had a lot of injuries. There's not a lot I can do about that. I worked really hard to have that not happen.
Right.
So that's one guy who has the same rap. He's tried to avoid the injuries, and he's just snake bitten. There's some guys that get hurt more often. It's just the reality of the situation. And hopefully he's not one of those guys. I think that we don't have enough of a sample size to see just yet. He's had 4 injuries, so it's definitely worrisome. But last year he did start in every game. So you can't discredit him for starting every game. I know Cakes will say, well, he got out of one of those games really quickly.
Well, the Panthers game, he was in for about 2 minutes.
Yeah, and then they took him out at halftime of the Cowboys game.
It still counts as a start.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then you toss in the playoff games. I mean, he started in 20 games.
Yeah. He just has to play. And I think it sounds like from your poll, most of the fan base is there at this point. I think it's taken some convincing.
Swinging back a little bit, I'm not going to lie.
What is it at?
Early voting, let's see, the latest.
80%?
84% say they want to see him on the
You're
field.
not going to get much higher than that.
Well, it's also, too, they don't want to see Marcus Mariota play. They want to see the starter play.
Yeah.
Like,
these
they
games,
want to see the franchise quarterback for the team play games.
I've accepted the fact that we're not going to live up to our potential, that we're going to miss the playoffs. I've accepted that.
Yeah.
I have not accepted enjoying Marcus Mariota-led games. That is just not something I get excited about.
Well, I mean,
watching Jayden Daniels play football is exciting to me, whether or not there's a playoff spot on the line or not. That is an exciting afternoon. That I'm ready to get down for.
Once he returns, will you be on the edge of your seat regarding injury?
I don't know. I haven't thought about that.
No, you just got to let it play out. If he gets injured again, he gets injured. Like Burrow said, he has no control over it.
I think
zero control over it.
But I think the answer is yes. I think I will be thinking about it.
I think you'll be a little white-knuckled.
I think I will be. Yeah, I need him to play the rest of the way.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think so. I think that will quell some doubts.
I need him to play the rest of the way. And, I'll give him a game or two to be a little rusty. But I need him to play at a pretty high level. I need to play at a pretty high level,
Just
even
be
though I know
Jayden.
he doesn't have a full cast of guys out there.
Yeah.
And
You want to
just
see
stay
some
healthy
glimpses of Jaden.
and remind us of why we're so in love with you. You know, because it's been so few and far between this year. He
Plus,
certainly
you
had
also
moments.
you want to tamp down all the Drake May, Caleb Williams propaganda.
Yeah, that's
out
annoying
there.
too. But
That's another thing. Like
I
That'll
said,
work
yeah, there's
itself
definitely
out
out
over
there.
time.
that stuff is happening, and Jaden's just on the sideline and can't do anything to like add to his legend here in DC.
His
Not
resume.
much he can do.
Yeah.
I just looked at, I think it was on CBS Sports. They had Drake May as the MVP favorite over Stafford simply because of the turnaround. Stafford maybe has more impressive numbers with the touchdowns, but if you really did a side-by-side comparison, you might vote on Drake May because of the team turnaround. He doesn't have as much to work with. He doesn't have Devontae Adams and Puka.
Right. I mean, he may ultimately win it. We'll have to see what happens.
He's
in
a
the
top
last
3
third
for
of the
sure.
season.
I'm not.
Oh, he might be number 2 right now.
We'll constantly
neck
be,
and neck with
be
Stafford.
questioning it, but it'll work itself out. I'm not going to get too worked up over who, that'll work itself out over time.
No, I
It'll
think
be
actually,
obvious.
look, I think number one, in my opinion, you want to see him back on the field and play all 5 games.
For
So
sure.
stay healthy. Number 2, play well.
Yeah, he needs to play well. Imagine if he goes out there and plays like J.J. McCarthy. He's not. He's
It's
better.
almost impossible.
That's impossible.
I know, but imagine.
That's
Because
physically
everybody's
impossible.
That would
grilling
be
how
so
he
bad.
played. When he's played this season, he still had a passer rating of 894. He still had 8 touchdowns with just 2 picks. I understand he was a tick off, and maybe you weren't getting vintage Jayden Daniels from his rookie year, but it was still pretty good.
No, it's still solid. It was still very good quarterback play relative to what we've had over the last 30 years.
And I brought this up yesterday. It was comparable to what Caleb Williams is giving you. It's not great. Caleb, if you look at a lot of his numbers, passer rating, QBR, that's about where Jaden was.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's go real quick to Randall Mechanicsville. Randall, what's up, buddy? You're on with the Junkies.
Morning, guys.
Hey, Randall.
Very interesting subject. I love it. So with Jaden, I know you have some people that want to rest him. When winning, especially in the NFL, when winning presents itself, you need to learn how to do it. And what I mean by that is if you have this loser mentality for the rest of the season, when winning presents itself next year with Jaden, it's going to be harder to do it. And what I mean is look up, in perfect example is the Giants, correct? They have in the fourth quarter 5 times this season, they have collapsed every single time because, in my opinion, when you look in the past, we all know the Giants have lost for years now. Years.
Oh, yeah, you have
Winning.
a culture of losing. It's hard to break out of it. I
Yeah.
agree with you. The counter
Yeah.
to it is the occasional teams every year that go from 4 wins to 10. That does happen. But your general principle, I agree with. You have to build a culture of winning. You have to expect to win. You have to learn how to win. Coach Quinn all last year talked about winning time moments. Well, he's not talking about that this year because there haven't been too many of them.
But that's why they brought in the vets last year.
Yeah.
We thought it was going to be
But
a
I agree
rebuild.
with
He
you,
didn't want to use the
Randall.
word. They wanted to compete. That's why they brought in Bobby Wagner, Zach Ertz, Austin Eckler, and others because they wanted to establish that culture.
Yeah.
This season just went sideways. There's no getting around it. It went sideways.
Sideways.
Mostly because of injuries.
Gross.
So
It's
sideways.
been horrible.
1-800-636-1067. Coming up next, we have an update on the missing coach from Union, the undefeated football coach. Now we know why he's on the lam.